Welcome to More Than a Few Words, a marketing conversation. This is your host, Lorraine Ball. And today we are going to answer a question that I know is on a lot of your minds because everybody's talking about podcasting right now. The question is it worth starting a podcast? And to help me answer that question, I have invited Roy Coughlan to join me. And Roy is a seasoned serial entrepreneur with an impressive track record of founding 20 companies across 5 countries. He's a little busy. As a business podcast coach and host, he has successfully launched and driven 6 podcasts to the top echelons of the industry, with all consistently ranking in the top 5% and 4 reaching that prestigious 0.5%. Roy, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Lorraine, for having me on.
It is my pleasure. And so I am going to kick off the question because it's one I get a lot is the podcast market saturated?
I would say absolutely not, because we hear of, there's 4 million, you get different figures, 3 million, 4 million, maybe even more. And a lot of them have stopped. So there's actively, you get different figures as well. Mm-hmm. They're saying 10 to 15% of that number are active. So my experience was seeing a lot, even people that I know, if I met at events, 3 episodes, they go, nah, not for me, 10 episodes. Because a lot of them, they have expectations that they'll make millions, or they'll get millions of downloads straight away, or they don't realize the amount of time. And you can put as much time as you want. You can wing it and do a fast one and just kind of go, this is grand. Or you can do preparation and be intentional like yourself, because I've listened to a few of the shows and having a niche, and you have a lovely niche. Mm-hmm. And when you have something like that, but what I would say is no matter what the numbers are, what I have benefited so much is I have learned. Because I'm asking questions, I'm bringing on guests, and my life is better, whether it's health, even the Polish. I have Polish on. My Polish improved from doing the podcast with the Polish. That when it's so many different things. Crypto. I read loads of books on crypto, and I couldn't really get it. And I started interviewing specialists on it. And I was asking questions that I got comments from guests saying, I didn't know that were big into crypto, because I was asking things about inheritance. What happens if somebody dies? Because you've this, the seed phrase, and people don't want to give that to anybody because they want to protect it. But I was asking these kind of questions, and I'm learning myself then from all the guests coming on, and I think you will benefit from that.
Okay, so yes, there are a lot of podcasts out there, but what I'm hearing is they're not nearly as many as people think because they're not all active. But then you sort of read my mind and anticipated the next question, which is, but why do a podcast? It's not just, well, based on your comments that I'm not going to make $1 million right away, and it's going to take time to build an audience. Why do a podcast?
There's a few reasons. One, even if you've no intention of building a big audience, but if you're a business owner and you're doing high-tech stuff, you can interview the people that would be ideal customers for you. They would love to come on, and now you have a great relationship as opposed to you cold calling or reaching out. So that's a great way of doing it. The other is if a lot of people are coaches and they don't know how to get customers, there's loads of companies that will try to sell you lead generation, give me $6,000, and you're $6,000 down without getting customers coming in, then you're going on to the next person. But with a podcast, you can interview different people and they're listening to your skill set. So your listeners go, this person knows what they're talking about. Mm-hmm. So just by having the conversations, you're showing your skill set, and you don't have to have a heavy sale. I mean, there's different ways of monetizing that you can do it, affiliate links and things like that. So that's another one. And the other thing is, it's a hobby. You can be curious. If you have a skill set that you can change the world, like a lot of people now, especially we're living in crazy times. Mm-hmm. If you can make the world a better place, whether it's mental health, whatever it is, it's spirituality. There's so many different things, creative stuff, humor. Mm-hmm. If you can make someone smile, if you can change someone's life, you're not only changing their life. You don't know the ripple effect inside that household, but they could then, like, I know that a lot of the people I've helped with podcasting, they've helped other people as well. Mm-hmm. You don't know who's going to change the world. based on that kind of positivity going into the world. So if you've got a skill set, you owe it to it. And even if you don't, and you're curious, people will come on to share their skill set, and then you can become an expert in it.
Absolutely. And I love, you ran through so many great suggestions there. And one of the ones that you touched on was, if you are in a business where you are trying to demonstrate your expertise, I used to take my podcast recordings and send them to a prospect. I would pick an interview that I thought really touched on whatever it was I was talking to that client about, and said, hey, you might find this interesting. And those interactions became so much more productive because they could sort of spy on me behind the scenes and really get to know me a little bit. And I also love the idea of, touching even one person who gets motivated or inspired. That is a great feeling at the end of the day.
No, absolutely. You'll get people that will write a comment or just come up to you. Sometimes people will think you'll get loads of comments. And I remember, the numbers were okay, but I didn't get much comments. And then I went to an event and loads of people came up to me because I was in Mind Valley and they kind of knew me. Mm-hmm. And they were saying, I listened to all the episodes, I love it. So I would have assumed that they'd be giving thumbs up and comments and everything. But then I thought, I'm not doing that either. So I'm trying to get into the habit when I like something, just to give a bit of support, because we tend to, it's the stuff that annoys us that we'll put the energy into, and just forget about that stuff. Don't put the energy there. Put the energy into the people that are creating things that are actually helping you and helping humanity. And that way, by you giving a thumbs up or a comment, it helps the algorithms that more people will see it and the show will grow and the bad ones will just fizzle away.
Absolutely. And I had somebody say recently, and I never really thought about it in this perspective, but it's, don't be disappointed if you get 50 downloads. How excited would you be if if 50 people showed up to hear your presentation? I think social media has completely distorted our idea of how big our audiences need to be to make an impact.
I did Toastmasters for a few years. And a lot of the times there'd be 10 people in the room, maybe 20 people, and you're delighted. And then you're getting feedback from people. So if you're doing a podcast, there's only 20 and 20 come next week, take that, just try to visualize them in the room. Even do a Google search to see what it looks like to have 20 in a room, 50 in a room, and 100, because it's a lot of eyeballs looking at you. Mm-hmm. But we're tend to looking at Mr. Beast and all these big boys, and we think we're a failure. And it's like, no, don't do that.
Okay, so you've convinced me it's worth starting a podcast, and the market is not saturated, and I kind of have an idea of why I want to do this and who I want to reach. Now what?
Well, I like to kind of cater for every budget. So you make sure you can do it online yourself. You can go away, because I know sometimes people, they're struggling, and maybe this might be a way of them to get out of where they're at. So you can go away and you can check online. All you're doing is you're getting a graphic. Get a graphic that is the image for your thing. You can do that online cheap as well, or you can get somebody to do it. You get a name. I've used all my names. I think it helps. I've got learnpolishpodcast.com, speakingpodcast.com, meditation, because I think if someone's doing a search, the name will help. I've seen podcasts that have nothing to do with the name, and they get millions of downloads. So but perhaps think of that. And then you can go to the different platforms. I say it's like a car. I don't ever tell somebody, pick this platform, go to Podbean, go to Libsyn, go to Buzzword. But I tell them the pros and cons. And I have a list when I'm kind of working with people. I've got about 20 that I kind of say, look, but it doesn't matter, because you can change. So if you go with one and you go, this isn't right, or you talk to somebody, or you're listening to a show and they tell you something, you go, this sounds way better. You can change it. And it's not that hard to do. So you're not glued to the company that you pick. Some are free, like Spotify is free. There's others, they charge you $100 or $20 a month. But so it's not too bad equipment wise. I'm not a technical person. I use an Audio Technics mic. I just the USB plugged in, because sometimes people have all the bells and whistles and the mixers and everything. But I've come across people that don't really understand tech. And when something goes wrong, they're going, I can't do the recording, I can't get it right, or whatever. So if you just want to keep it simple, I have this for 7 years. I have a backup mic, because I thought, and it works perfectly. I put a cover on it. It's like a nose for a clown nose kind of thing, but that protects the dust. And that's one of the things. Software as well. Before I was like Audacity, that's free. And you can just go in and take out the arms, the pause. But then now you can use software to do it. Adobe I use. And that enhances the sound. So there's been times I've had interviews, we done live ones one time, and someone was obviously using their laptop. And I thought, I can't put this out. And Adobe made it perfect. So there's even software. And you can then put it out on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute. It ain't hard. And then you just share it and put it on different things. And once you're in the game, read a few books on it and just enjoy the process. And don't try to be on 50 platforms like X, Instagram, and everything, because we all it's nice to be on them, but put your energy into one and try to get that to work. And then when you have that systemized, go on to the next one. And that way you're not getting overwhelmed, you're enjoying it, and just enjoy the conversations that you're bringing, the people that you're bringing on.
I love that. I love that more than anything else is the idea of enjoying it. Because when podcasting becomes work, oh my God, does it become work? Oh, Roy, this has been fabulous. Thank you so much for dropping by and talking about podcasts with me.
No, thank you very much for having me. Thoroughly enjoyed our conversation.
I'm going to encourage everybody, if you like what you heard, RoyCoughlan.com, RoyCoughlan.com. He's got a ton of other links. They're all going to be in the show notes. So pick the ones that mean something to you. Thanks again, Roy.
Thank you very much.
And if you've enjoyed this conversation, if you're looking for other resources for your business, hop over to morethanafewwords.com. You'll find workbooks, white papers, and so much more. This has been another episode of More Than a Few Words. Thanks for listening.